Well, good afternoon, everybody. This is Deborah Windorf with Divine Jubilee Ministries, and as you can see, I've changed venue today because this is one of my favorite spots, and this is one of my favorite times of the year. And then I realized that the Word has something to say about that, so I wanted to read this to you. And this is out of Genesis. Guess where? Genesis. And this is the New Living Translation. And listen to this. This is Genesis 1:11, and it says, "Then God said," so there you go, right there. God said, "Let the land sprout with vegetation." So look at my vegetation. I'm so excited. "Every sort of seed-bearing plant and trees." And there's the wind to help with this, but I love it. Let me go with this again. "Then God said, let the land sprout with vegetation, every sort of seed-bearing plant and trees that grow seed-bearing fruit. These seeds will then produce the kinds of plants and trees from which they came." There you go. And that is what happened. So, one of the things, I want to show you a few seeds that I brought out today. But like I said, this is Genesis 1:11. I want to show you some seeds, and that you can see. And the different sizes, and this to me, this is fascinating and absolutely amazing. But right here, I don't know if you can see how tiny. Let me turn my hand so you can see. That's an okra seed. And I don't know if you've ever seen it, but okra plants get really, really tall, practically up to your knees or something, or maybe taller than that. That little bitty seed. Here's another one. This one's so cute. This one's different. This one's a black-eyed pea. It has a little eye on it. Look how small that is. Fits in my hand. Looks between my two fingers. It's that small. And yet when you plant it in the ground, it makes leaves, and then eventually more of these in pods, I guess is what they're called. More just like this come after this one seed is planted. This one's, here's another one. This one's flat. This one's flat and white, and this is a baby lima bean. But lima beans are green when you eat them. But here you go, and it's tiny also, really small. It fits in my finger. Yet if you plant this, you'll get a plant with leaves, and then quite some time later you'll get another bunch of these that just look like that. So when you plant lima beans, guess what you get? Lima beans. So isn't that exciting? But here's something else I think is really interesting. This is a pecan. This is a pecan. Look how small it is. Put this down. Look how small this is in my finger compared to what's behind me. Over my head, you can see this. If you don't know trees, this is a pecan tree. It's taller than I am. It's way up there, and it came from something like this. So here's my word for you today. It just kind of hit me just now. You may be small. Your faith may be small even. You may be thinking, oh my goodness, my faith's not very big. And God talked about the size of faith, the size of a mustard seed, and how it can do great things. Well, your seed, there's so many places we could go with this right now. The seed can be small. We're talking about finances maybe. You can sow a really, really small seed, and it can make more, because remember, what you sow is also what comes back. So if you sow money, you get money. You sow lima beans, you get lima beans. You sow a pecan, you get a pecan tree with more pecans on it. Whatever you're sowing in the ground, that's what's so amazing to me, is that inside that seed that's so small is a code that when it hits ground and gets planted in the dirt, it knows what to do. And it starts making roots, and it starts doing a lot of stuff under the ground, out of your sight where you can't see it at first. And then, boy, all of a sudden it starts coming up out of the ground, and then there's a leaf, a little tiny leaf, and then it gets a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger. Faith like that. When you implement that faith, it may be little bitty when you start, but you start using it, and it starts getting bigger and getting bigger and getting bigger. So there's a couple of things we can take from this word today about the seed. One, plant it. If you've got seed, a financial seed, you can plant that. But you have plants, just real plants. If you want okra, grow okra, because when you plant okra seeds, that's what you get. You get what you plant. It makes another one after itself. And now here's just a thought, and you can do with this what you want, but what do human beings make? When you plant seed inside, what do you make? what do human beings make? There's some question about that. Some people are a little bit confused about that. They think it's other things, but certainly not frogs or anything like that. So human beings make, guess what? Other human beings. So in case you were wondering, but there are some people that are confused about that. So anyway, the seed makes what it is. So it creates itself, it makes another one, and then that one okra seed or whatever can make lots of little okra after that, and then all of those have seeds inside of them, and it multiplies and multiplies and multiplies and can just get bigger and bigger. So be encouraged today that that little bitty thing that you have that may seem like a little small thing, it may be a small dream, it may be a small seed for finances, it may be a small anything, but this is springtime, folks. Favorite time, for my favorite time of the year, because look, everything's green. I mean, that must be God's favorite color. I can't decide if it's green or blue, because everything in here right now is green. I mean, in every leaf, in everything, God's got such an amazing imagination. Every leaf is different. They're the same, and yet they're different. They're different shape, different size, all green. Most of them are all green, but they're just all different. So he has an amazing way of doing things. So here goes another thought. He has more ways of getting things done than you can imagine. Look, he's got all of this out here, all of these plants, they're all different, but yet they all the same in a way. So God has ways to get things done that you probably can't even imagine, all the different ways that he can do it. So be encouraged today that you have a mighty God that sits on the heavenly throne, and he can get things done when you ask. Ask, and ye shall receive. So be encouraged today. If you have a need from him, ask him about that. Talk to him about that. He's a big God, and there's not any need that's bigger than he is. So be encouraged today that this is springtime, and seeds can be planted, and they make other seeds just like what they came from. So there's the word about that. But be encouraged today that you can get some things done if that's what you need, and sow some seed for it, and trust God that underneath, even though you may not be seeing anything going on right now under the surface some roots are growing. Your faith can be growing. You can be sowing that seed by using your faith. The more times you use it, the bigger it gets. But remember, faith is a substance, and it can be used up. So you got to refill it. And guess where the refilling comes from? Comes from the word. So when you refill it up, it fills back up, and then you can go use it again. It's kind of like gasoline. You have to put gas to mow your grass. Well, when you're out of gas, your mower don't work anymore. Well, when you're out of faith, it doesn't work anymore. You got to get more. So go get some more out of the word. But be encouraged today. This is a great time of year. I mean, I'm excited. This is the time when you can see God move in ways that you may never see it, because what looked like it was dead all winter long isn't, and it's awake, and here it is, and it's alive and breathing and doing. And so be encouraged today that even though it may look small and hard for you right now, joy comes in the morning, and things are going to turn around. So be encouraged today, and I'll see you next week.